Watch this. One simple paddle-on-table drill instantly teaches you the whipping racket head feeling that makes a killer forehand loop. Relax, set your racket down on the table. Stand across from me, we'll work through this together. Right, set the racket down on the table surface. Now watch, my elbow stays pressed down, pressing down the whole time. 1, then rotate the racket back toward you, then forward. Forward, that's it. 1, 2, see how I'm pressing down on the paddle, keeping pressure on it. 1, 2, keep the racket face vertical, vertical face, vertical face. 1, 2, now drop the elbow down, elbow down. 1, 2, can you feel the racket head whipping out? That snapping sensation at the tip, good. Again, quick, quick. Don't sway at the end. When you wobble, it means your thumb stopped applying force. Relax, relax. 1, 2, 1, 2, accelerate forward. Accelerate. Now try it with a shadow swing. Reproduce exactly the feeling you had with the racket pressed flat on the table. Getting closer, try again, add more speed. Imagine the racket is still on the table at the starting point and you're whipping it out from there. You need to use the arm to drive the racket face. The racket face does the work. Understand, faster, faster, and you must keep pressing down. If you don't press, it simply won't spin. Next, let me stand in front and we'll do this together so you can find the feeling. Relax, completely loose. Shoulders loose, everything loose. Look at your grip, you're still tense. Let go. It should feel like you're barely holding the racket at all. Relax. Now when you swing forward, I want you to try to rip the racket out of my hand. I'll count 1, 2, 3. On 3, you swing and break free. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Again, relax first. 1, 2, wait, wait. I didn't say 3 yet. See, on 2 you already tensed up. That's the problem. Stay loose through 1 and 2. Only when I say 3, only when you swing forward do you explode. Let's go. Relax the paddle, relax the elbow, elbow loose. 1, 2, 3, too slow. 1, 2, 3, there it is. That's the feeling. 1, 2, 3, good. One, two, three, go. Feel like you're breaking free from someone gripping your racket hand. You want to snap loose at the last moment. But you can't tighten too early. If you do, there's no speed difference between the relaxed phase and the acceleration. Stay loose first, then explode. Second point, during the loop, keep your racket path parallel to the table surface. Watch, after contact, the racket finishes out here level. If it tilts like this, you lose your grip on the ball. Try it, rip the racket free. There it is. That's clearly biting the ball now. Again, that force is so much better. Look at the ball after it lands, it kicks forward with a real arc now. It has that diving trajectory. The feeling is right. Because when I hold your paddle and you break free, it's not the arm pulling away, it's the whole racket head snapping out of my grip in one instant. Understand, it's not arm force. The moment your arm takes over, your fingers can't contribute anymore. Think of it exactly like someone is gripping your racket and you whip it out of their hand. Snatch the racket, not the arm. That's the feeling. Snatch the racket, not the arm. Understand, and press down a little more. The tiger's mouth of your grip should face completely forward. Press the racket angle down further, tiger's mouth forward. Try again with that feeling, tiger's mouth fully forward, press a bit more. Good shot, push through at that angle, exactly like that. Good, push through again, oh you're lifting again, you started lifting. That angle right there, that's the face I want. Not this open one. Push forward and grind into the ball. Don't go upward, now let me explain the principle. My partner pushes a backspin ball to me, then blocks my loop. Watch, first a push, then a block. I'll loop with a pure upward motion so you can see what happens. Here's the problem. If you just brush over the top, the ball doesn't push forward. You've seen serves with side spin topspin that really drive into you. That's because the server presses down and grinds forward. Close the racket face, grind forward, and the ball comes off with more spin and more forward punch. Watch the difference when I loop with that forward pressure. If you only spin without pressing forward, the ball lands on the other side with no forward drive, it just sits there. Think about it. When I loop like this, staying in place, the ball drops dead on the opponent's side. No punch at all. But if I press into the ball while I brush, grinding forward through contact, now it kicks off the table and drives into them. That's the key. You must combine forward pressure with the friction. Don't just spin in place. Imagine pushing through the ball as you brush it. Press into it and grind. The racket moves forward and up together, not just up. That forward component is what gives the loop its bite. Without it, you get spin but no threat. With it, the ball jumps off the table. So when you practice, feel yourself driving into the ball as you brush, pressing, and grinding through contact. Now see, the feel is coming. Why does my ball spin so much? Because I'm loose, then fast, loose, then fast. And how do I get even faster? By keeping the elbow still. Watch, I relax, and the whip happens right here because the elbow stays put. If the elbow drifts up with the swing, you lose the snap. Remember, right now we're purely working on the friction, the brush. We haven't added full body power yet. The key to friction is this: drop down, pause, stop, then explode from that stop position. Not a half swing that drifts through. The elbow stays anchored. Drop down to a certain height, then come back up to that same height. It's braced the whole time. Good, keep pressing, tiger's mouth forward. There's real progress here. Stay braced, don't let the racket rise. Press down. That ball already has real spin on it. You can tell just from the stroke shape. Watch, I have to close my racket angle and brace just to block it. If I just stick my racket out passively, the ball jumps up off my paddle, it kicks. That's the difference. Before, with the big arm swing, the ball could never go long on me. I barely had to adjust my angle to keep it on the table. But against this compact, concentrated stroke, the spin difference is enormous, several times more. It's real. When we brush the ball, we must press into it and grind forward, press, press, press. See how the ball really spins now? By the time it reaches the opponent's side, it still has forward drive. The idea is simple: grind forward, stay relaxed, then accelerate. How do you accelerate? Brace the elbow. Lock it in place so the forearm and wrist can whip the racket head. If the elbow drifts along with the swing, the whole racket face moves slowly and you lose that snap. If you're brushing through the entire stroke evenly, the force never concentrates at one point. You really need to try this, it makes an enormous difference. Press the tiger's mouth forward, stay relaxed, then accelerate through contact. Beautiful. Relax, then accelerate. Good. Now that's our foundation stroke, pure wrist and forearm. Once this feels natural, we layer in the body. Add a little forward push from the arm while the legs and torso drive into the shot. But keep the racket path going forward, not upward. Drive straight forward, commit to it, trust yourself. Keep the same contact point you just found, don't lift the racket higher. Now accelerate and release the power. Plant your foot, stay grounded, and fire through the ball. Feel that? The power clicks in immediately once you find that contact point. As a recreational player, don't worry about catching the ball at the perfect peak. Just commit to pressing forward and letting the acceleration do the work. Once you own that contact point, you can start adding force. Good, grind forward through the ball. Don't be afraid to push the racket forward and through. Keep the arc thin. When you can layer body rotation on top of this hand action, it becomes even more powerful. The hand feel is exactly what I described. Pull up, then punch out. Pull up, punch out. So remember 3 things. First, anchor the elbow so the racket head whips. Second, grind forward through the ball for real friction. Third, add body rotation and forward force for full power. Try the paddle press drill at home and build from there.